The arrival of 6 overseas Filipino workers from Lebanon took place on Friday. The remains of Angelyn Peralta Aguirre, a Filipina caregiver who was also killed in the Hamas attack, have also returned. Deivid Lira will give us more details live. David?
Fred, the Philippine government's efforts to bring OFWs home from country affected by conflict or war continue, just like the 6 OFWs who returned from Lebanon on Friday.
Fear and trauma drove Angelyn, Lorena, and Clarita to decide to return to the Philippines from Lebanon.
Ang sa akin na lang yung safety na lang at yung pag-aalala ng pamilya ko na araw-araw tumatawag, kamusta ka dyan? Much better na umuwi ka na lang kaysa ganitong nababalita namin na araw-araw may gera doon.
Marami na rin po akong karanasan na bagsa ganung gulo. Pero po, this time po, nung narinig ko na po yung ganung pong tunog, di na po ako makatulog. Kaya po nag-decide na po akong umuwi.
Talaga po nag-decide na po ako umuwi kasi sa sitwasyon po ng Lebanon at saka Israel is a very bad situation. Saka yung mga nangyayari po talagang noon kasi nasakop na ako ng gera nung una kaya may trauma po ako talaga. Kaya minsan naririnig ko yung bomba gabi-gabi. Minsan di ako nakakatulog. Wala na ako sa isip minsan.
They were welcomed by officials, including Kabayan Part List Representative Ronsalo, Department of Migrant Workers Officer in Charge, Undersecretary Hans Leo Cagdac, Overseas Workers Welfare Administration Administrator Arnel Ignacio, and other representatives from the DSWD, TESDA, and DOH.
Second batch of 6 returnees from Lebanon. As you know, alert level 3 na tayo sa Lebanon. So voluntary repatriation mode na tayo, voluntary repatriates. May first batch na dumating noong Sabado ng gabi, 4. They quietly came home. Kaya't ang total natin ngayon, 10 sa Lebanon.
Upon their arrival at Naya Terminal 3 on November 3, the Filipinos underwent a medical examination by the Bureau of Quarantine. Most of them do not want to return to Lebanon and plan to start businesses in the Philippines.
Nakikita po ninyo sa mga hanay po natin ngayon, mga magiging businesswoman itong mga to. Sapagkat base po sa kanilang aming pag-usap kanina, may kanya-kanya po silang iniisip na umpisahan na negosyo para kung ano man po yung ibigay sa kanila ng ating pamahalaan ay magiging puhunan po nila ito.
Thanks po sa lahat po ng OWA, Polo, sa Lebanon po. Ganon din po dito sa pag-assist sa amin. Masaya po kaming lahat po na nakarating dito.
Yusek Cagdan mentioned that more than 100 Filipino workers in Lebanon are still processing their documents to return to the Philippines. There's still a deployment ban for newly hired Filipino workers in Lebanon. The DMW acknowledges the presence of undocumented Filipino workers in Lebanon, numbering in the thousands. There are over 17,000 Filipinos in Lebanon, with most of them working as domestic workers. To recall, Lebanon was raised to alert level 3 in connection with the Israel-Hamas war that broke out on October 7. Under Alert Level 3, the Philippine government implements voluntary repatriation for Filipinos in that country. The government also assured that they will provide assistance to affected OFWs amid the conflict.
The goal of government approach requires all the agencies here today to provide their respective forms of assistance that generally will cover pantawid ng financial assistance, livelihood assistance, employment assistance, and psychosocial counseling, and of course the DOH, yung health and well-being nila, physical and mental wellness.
Meanwhile, the remains of the OFWs Angelyn Aguirre, who was killed following the unprecedented attack of Hamas on Israel, have also arrived. Angelyn was a 32-year-old caregiver who died on October 7, 2023, when her kibbutz in southern Israel was attacked by Hamas while attempting to save the elderly she was caring for. The DMW and OWA have ensured support for her and will provide her with a hero's welcome in Bimale, Pangasinan.
Death and burial benefits kasi OWA member si Angelyn. Sa side ng DMW, yung Action Fund, nagbigay tayo ng financial assistance din. Noong nandun kami, nakikiusap yung family, nabigyan ng trabaho yung tatlong kapatid. So we're working on that with the Secretary Benny Lagues Manandole at ng local government. No, nakausap din namin si Governor Quico dito. And then, yung livelihood assistance at school assistance naman ng OWA.
Oh, it will be a very special welcome para sa kanya. So, as I've said, yung ultimong yung lugar na kung saan siya ibuburol, pina-aircon natin, nilagyan natin sila ng generator, nilagyan natin sila ng mga urinals para sila makapag-focus dun sa kanilang pagluluksa na maayos. Ang hindi na sila nababurden paano yung gagawin, pagkain. We will supply all the food necessary sa araw-araw na mangyayari na pagbuburol.
Fred, that's the latest in the Philippine government's effort to help OFWs trapped in the ongoing tension. Meanwhile, Hamas has released 5 hostages out of the more than 200 that is snatched in the southern Israel during their surprise attack on October 7. Back to you, Fred.
Thank you. That's Deivid Lira live on SMNA Studios.